Ain't gonna be nothing like my life. You're gonna grow and have a good life. I'm gonna do what I got to do. So rock-a-bye, baby, rock-a-bye. I'm gonna rock you, rock-a-bye, baby. Don't you cry. Somebody's got you, rock-a-bye, baby, rock-a-bye. I'm gonna rock you, rock-a-bye, baby. Don't you cry.
Single mom, what you doing out there? Facing the hard life without no fear. Just see and know that you really care. Cause any obstacle come, you well prepare. And no, mama, you never shed tear. Cause you have to set things year after year. And you give the youth love beyond compare. You find the school fee and the bus fare. Already pops disappear. In a wrong bar, can't find him nowhere. Steadily your workflow, everything you know, so you not stop, no time for your dear.
Now she got a 6-year-old, trying to keep him warm, trying to keep out the cold. When he looks in her eyes, he don't know he is safe when she says, ooh, love. No one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you. So rock-a-bye, baby, rock-a-bye. I'm gonna rock you, rock-a-bye, baby. Don't you cry. Somebody's got you, rock-a-bye, baby, rock-a-bye. I'm gonna rock you, rock-a-bye, baby. Don't you cry.
Bang, bang, bang. All right then. Rock-a-bye, rock-a-rock-a, rock-a-bye. Rock-a-bye, rock-a-rock-a, rock-a-bye. Rock-a-bye, down by the cry. Lift up your head, lift it up to the sky, yo. Rock-a-bye, down by the cry. Angels around you, just dry your eye.
Now she got a 6-year-old, trying to keep him warm, trying to keep out the cold. When he looks in her eyes,
Oh, good morning, Dar. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, everyone. What a day. Okay. All right. I don't need to hear myself blasting out my right eardrum. Ouch. Oh. Now I'm blasting out this other eardrum. Okay. Maybe, yeah, that's a little bit better. Oh, all right. Not falling asleep. What's the matter, Sean? You up all night? What happened, Sean? No sleep last night? Now you're at work and you got to try to stay awake? Well, Furry Kitten, good morning to you. Hey, morning, Ryan. How's it going? Oh, this past 4 days, Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday, 3 days. Have y'all ever dealt with tourists? I'm serious. Have y'all ever had to deal? And I'm not talking about being a tourist. I'm talking about having to deal with someone who is a tourist. Someone who just comes into town to do whatever they're doing. Oh, alarm went off at 8. Okay. So let's see. You've been up for about an hour then. All right. I don't know what it is about people. I am sure these people, for the most part, are quite lovely people when they're at home. They're kind. They're considerate. They're not egocentric. Worked at a theme park for 3 years. Oh, my boss and I were talking. We're actually considering writing a book. We're considering sitting down and writing a book about how to act when you're not at home, what not to do, and what to do, with examples of each. Like a driveway that is clearly marked for two-way traffic, don't park in the middle of it. Don't take your half out of the middle. And then when you're asked to move your car so other cars can get around you, to give a look of, what the hell? I'm not moving. I was there first. Just that look of, screw you. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm down here on my time now. I don't have to listen to you. You're not my boss. Or, you're told, person comes, be polite, be considerate, don't be a dick. I really wish I could get that put on a sign and hung over our door. I wish the state would put these signs up all across the state, along every major highway coming into the state. Be polite, be considerate, don't be a dick. It's not just any one person. It's not any one type of person. It's not young people. It's not old people. It's not white. It's not black. It's not Hispanic. It's not even, it's not even Indian. It's people, period. Yeah, Sean, that works too. Come spend your, just have a sign, a gate right there that they come in, drop off the money you're going to spend here, and I'll turn around and leave. But I've got a short temper. I freely admit that. And there are days where I sit there and I really think that plexiglass that the boss put up is there to protect the customers from me, not me from the customers. I really think that, because there are days that if I could pick up that stapler and just chuck it at somebody's head and ring them between the running lights and say, get some sense, be nice. All right, you want to leave at such and such a time. I understand that. You're on vacation and you want to leave when you want to leave. But guess what? I've got other people coming in on vacation and they want to get here when they want to get here. And I've got to have, I've got to have areas clean and set up, carry out the nasty trash that you left and get everything spick and cleaned, spotless, so the next person that comes in can enjoy what they're staying. Furry, I love that. Sean, you're right about that one too, man. And okay, Oh, yeah, you went to that bubble party. God, I wish they would ban bubble parties. I really, and I don't understand. How do these people get in their cars and drive around with this crap on them that they're bringing back and living all over the place? They don't. What are they doing to them? If this is what they're doing to our place, what are they doing to their cars? If I mean, I've got linens that look like they've been tie-dyed 15 different shades. Okay. One room was so bad we had to pull down the curtains and put up brand new ones that because I don't understand how they got this crap all over the curtains. I'll never know. I mean, it almost looked like they'd rolled themselves up in them like a damn mummy or something. What in the world? People, when you're going to visit someplace, you're there visiting. Oh, definitely, Sean. I, I, when I come out of Walmart, and sometimes I'll track down the front end manager, and I'll tell them, man, this cashier on such and such, man, fantastic job. Uh, you know, they're quick. They get. I mean, when I'm trying to get out of a grocery store, you know, I more appreciate the cashier that rings my stuff up and gets me out of there in the shortest amount of time. I don't care if they don't say 3 words to me. Get my stuff rang up and get me out of there. Oh, we do cash deposits. Now, that wasn't the part. They're wiping their whole body. They're wiping their whole body down with these curtains. I'm telling you, I don't. And we've got 2 different colors of curtains that we've got in the rooms. In the rooms that are smoking rooms that people are allowed to smoke in, they're yellow. When we bought them, we bought yellow curtains. Not a bright, obnoxious taxi cab yellow, but more, that yellow nicotine stained color. And in the non-smoking rooms, we've got pure white curtains. That way it meant, it really makes it a lot easier. It's, yeah. That's the original color of them curtains, because it really is. If we put white curtains up in them, they'd be tinged yellow in a couple of weeks anyway, so why buy white ones? For low pressure, yeah. But man, I just don't understand, and I understand too, it's Labor Day weekend. People are wanting to get, they got 3 days off work, and they're wanting to get out of town and, forget all their troubles at home and just go out and have a good time. But my God, stupidity abounds. And who, the one comment I love, well, who carries cash with them? We pay everything on plastic. Take a hint. If you're traveling, take a few $100s in cash. 20s, maybe a couple of 50s, no hundreds. No hundreds, please. My God, no hundreds. Because you're going to come up to the front and ask to break that $100 bill. I've only got $300 in my drawer. I'm not breaking your $100 bill just, because you didn't bring any money to go into the candy machine or the soda machine. You bring if you know you're going to hit the soda machine, you're going to hit the candy machine, you may even decide you want to do some laundry. And no, I'm not breaking your $50 bill or $100 bill so you can buy, $4 worth of or $1 worth of quarters for the candy machine. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not destroying my drawer that I need to make change out of cash paying customers so you can go buy a bag of M&Ms. It ain't happening. Oh, wow. Now, our soda machines are only $1.50. And I think that's ridiculous. $1.50 for a can of soda. No. I'm one of them cheap son of a guns. When I travel, I buy a case of water and a 6-pack of soda, and that's going in. That works. That works, Furry. No, I don't hit soda machines. I don't hit candy machines for the simple fact that that stuff is so way overpriced. During the height of the season, we can make just our profit on those candy machines we can make anywhere between $800 to $1,000 on a weekend. That's just our share of what's been sold out of the candy machines and soda machines. That's not including what the vendor, I think the local Coca-Cola companies are our vendor on our machines right now. And if we're making $800 to $1,000 on Labor Day weekend or biker weekend or something like that, think how much money they're making in profit on those machines. So, yeah, there's hella profit on those things. But yeah, people, please though, if you're out traveling, remember that poor SOB behind the counter, that poor SOB, that you're talking down to, that's trying their best to be nice to you and make sure you enjoy your time. Remember, that's you at your job. All right. We get people, our swimming pool closes at a certain time. And I tell them, and I can always tell this one question. The only time I've ever been asked this question, one thing is in common. I've been asked this question many times over. I just found out I've been working there for 15 years. I just found that out. I didn't realize I've been there for so long now. That a certain group of people from a certain state, we tell them the pool closes at X time. And they say, well, can we come down swimming after midnight? And our suits required after midnight? Yeah. Not only no, you can't go swimming after midnight, and I make damn certain that I go out at 9 o'clock and lock the gates. But you have to have a suit on no matter when you're coming in the pool. Oh, and Dar, when I was in Germany, uh, yeah, I if I was going TDY somewhere, it was like hitting someplace and buying water. You better believe it. Nah, pool wasn't closed due to AIDS, I tell you. But man, these people, it's like, I don't understand what is it about people from Mississippi that they want to go swimming naked in a public pool that's in the middle of a parking lot. Why would somebody want to do that? Well, that's why we I've had people, come in and on you know Sunday night, or Saturday night, and it's getting late, and I'll go out to the pool, and I'll just see it's 2 or 3 adults sitting out there, and they're being quiet, and they're talking quietly amongst themselves and getting in the water every now and again. And they'll say, "Oh, is it time for the pool to close?" And I'll tell them, I said, I'm not going to be that guy. You're out here, you look like you're enjoying yourselves, you're being an adult, you're not making a bunch of noise. And I'm going to let you have the pool until 11 o'clock when I get, and then when I got to get ready to start doing shift change, then I'm going to have to close the pool. As long as I'm not getting any complaints or I don't hear you guys from the inside, and it's all adults, there's no kids, I'm not going to be that guy and ruin your evening for you. And I have gotten more posted comments and compliments about that. Okay. Okay, group on peninsula is more than 3 miles from the sea. Well, furry. Yeah, I just can't see it was I mean, when I was a kid growing up and we were going out to the creek on the property on our house, and if it was just me going down there, okay, yeah, swimming naked was one thing as a kid, but as an adult, it just, especially if you don't know that if there's anybody else going to be coming along or anybody with their children coming along. Private pool on your property, no chance of the neighbors or the neighbors' children seeing you. That's one thing. But a public pool where anybody, or a public area where anybody can get in there, nah, it's not something I want to think about. But anyway, weekends, I don't these people amaze me. They really do. Tourists amaze me with what they will come down and the kinds of demands. Wow. Nude pool time. Okay. Question is are these people that you'd want to see naked? Are they people that you would even want to see naked? It's been my experience that you go to an area where people are allowed to go naked or topless. It's never the bodies that you really want to see. It's not that young, perky boobied young lady, mid-20s, nothing is sagging, body's still in good shape, young lady. And for the young ladies, it's not that guy that's, spends hours in the gym getting themselves toned up. It's the 60-year-old fat man or woman. Gravity's taken the tolls over the years. Too many good meals, too much good booze. They're the ones that you're seeing at these places naked. Oh. Yeah, it's all about perspective. That's true. It's all about perspective. And speaking of perspective, we all know, that the greatest word that the liberals and Democrats live up to, that the word they go by. I mean, if this word is not included in your mission statement, if it can't be said about your organization, if you don't believe in this wholeheartedly, you don't have it tattooed across your heart and soul, then you are among the most evil people in the world. That word is inclusive. If you are not a believer in inclusivity, if you are not a believer in accepting all types, as long as they agree with you, but you're not about that magic word of inclusivity, then you are evil. And if you are inclusive, if you believe in inclusivity, you embrace inclusivity, and you promise to have inclusivity, then you are among the chosen people. You have the right to be there. You are on the right side of history because you believe in inclusivity. And the Democrats have taken inclusivity to mean something that I never thought I would understand them to say.
Hello, Mr. Secretary. Thank you for being here today. I want to ask you two questions.
Well, okay, yeah, the sound was there.
One is about the headlines of the day, and the other one is a wider issue you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is we have reporting today that Taliban co-founder Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar will lead a new Afghan government set to be announced soon. I would really like your reaction to this. What does the U.S. government think about this new specific government? And I know that you have mentioned, certain criteria and principles, but I really would be super keen to get your take on this specific government. And the second one is I would like to ask you about accountability. And you just said, you just talked about reflecting upon what happened, what went wrong. And this is not to in any way diminish the work of this department and anybody else, as a person. But you and others in this administration have said there will be a time and place for that kind of accountability. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan specifically referred to it as a hot wash. So where is the State Department in that process? And is this going to be in a format of a formal investigation? What is that going to look like? Thank you.
No, thank you. So with regard to the government, we've seen different reports of government information. I've not seen anything final or dispositive of what that government looks like, who's in it, who's not. So I'm going to reserve comment and judgment until we see that. That may be coming up in the hours ahead, in the days ahead, but I haven't seen anything final. But I'd say two things about it. First, as we've said, and as countries around the world have said, there is an expectation that any government that emerges now will have some real inclusivity in.
What? Wait a minute. What was this magic word he just said? What was that?
That any government that emerges now will have some real inclusivity in that it will have non-Talibs in it who are representative of different communities and different interests in Afghanistan.
Be inclusive. And when you think of Afghanistan, when you think of the Taliban, when you think of what's over there, the nomadic peoples, the Sharia religion, the Muslim religion. When you think of the Muslim religion, you are thinking of inclusivity. They are the most inclusive people of the world. They will allow you to live your life not only as you wish to live it, but they will help you embrace your lifestyle. Yes. They, Taliban, they are so inclusive. Now, just because they've already started beheading women that they caught wearing Western-styled clothing and not having their heads covered properly, well, that doesn't mean they can't be inclusive. Now, does it? Does it? Just because they have been known to take individuals who have a different lifestyle when it comes to their sexual persuasion, they give them flying lessons, sans aircraft or parachutes. They take them to the top of a 4 or 5 story building and, let them, like that fledgling young birdie, mama bird pushes out of the nest to learn how to spread their wings and fly. That's all the Taliban is doing. They're teaching these people how to fly, pushing them out, with that fledgling young bird. Yes, the Taliban, they're such an inclusive, accepting people. And our government is going to be looking forward to this. I mean, you heard it from the State Department spokesman himself. You heard it. We are going to have We are seeing the rise of one of the greatest inclusive countries in the world. Good morning, Ramen. Good morning. Um, have, do I need to tone down the sarcasm? Yeah, okay. Oh man, I just this is just something I can't believe I'm actually hearing. I am actually hearing from the State Department spokesman's lips that they're saying that the world is expecting to see inclusivity out of Afghanistan's new government, which is being formed by the Taliban. That's when I mean it's amazing. I mean, just it's just simply amazing that the man said that will be inclusive. That their expectations.
That any government that emerges now will have some real inclusivity, and that it will have.
It will. And is this inclusivity that the Democrats, that this administration fights for within our own United States? Or are they using a different... Morning, Johnny. What kind of inclusivity? What definition of inclusivity are they using? Because when they're talking about inclusivity here in the United States, it's you have to be inclusive of all lifestyles. You have to be inclusive of all 199 genders. You have to be inclusive of, of nearly everything that comes out of the liberals' pipe dreams. But that doesn't strike me as the type of inclusivity that you're even going to think you're going to see out of the Taliban-based government. And remember, to the left. I mean, this just happened. A gaming company. The CEO of the gaming company was forced to resign his position simply because he said that he approved of limitations on abortion. And the company and the gaming world went into such an uproar. And he was the founder of the company. And he was forced to step down. That's real inclusivity, right? And the company set out an apology about this. They put out an apology on the guy, for what the guy said. That's just absolutely ridiculous. There's no inclusivity there. I mean, we're not even inclusive here in this country. I don't care what these people say. We're not inclusive here because you don't have the right in this country to disagree with the left. You don't have that right here. Because if you did have that right to disagree with them, you wouldn't be resigning your position at a company you founded. But that's what they say, that's what they do. It's not. Oh yeah, Furry. I saw that the Oregon is going to be banning working with Texas. It's like California. There are states that California bans official travel to. That's let me see if I can find it. Right here. Let's see if they actually have a list. Damn it. All they say is there's 17 states. California has banned state-sponsored travel to 17 states over LGP. Okay. Added Florida, Arkansas, Montana, North Dakota, and West Virginia to the list that now has 17 states where state employee travel is forbidden except under limited circumstances. So for Oregon to say that they're going to ban travel with ban travel then because of abortion, over an abortion law, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. It's the state's got the right to say where they're going to accept official travel. But yeah, it's foolishness. It's foolishness. It's they banned travel to. Oh yeah, you didn't know that? Because we don't have special laws protecting gays. We don't discriminate in favor of gays. Florida doesn't discriminate against anybody. All right? We don't. And part of that is we don't write laws that favor one group over another. Because that's stupidity. Oh, Sean, there's no adults running any place, anywhere, more. I mean, Abbott in Texas, he comes close. DeSantis here in Florida comes close. I can't remember the name of the, what is it, Wyoming? The female is one of the northern tier states like that. They've got, there's a few out there that, they just basically say, listen, people, come and live your lives. We don't care. Come and live your life. We're not going to write laws to protect you. We're not going to write laws to discriminate against you. We just don't give a damn. And that's the way it should be. If you want equal treatment under the law, then you're going to have to understand that equal treatment means there's no special protections. You're treated equally. Okay? Oh, you're a woman-run business and you want special consideration for state contracts? Why? Where's equal treatment for the other businesses that aren't owned by women? Oh, you're a black-owned business and you want special treatment, special consideration for contracts? Why? I thought you wanted equal treatment, not special treatment. These are the laws that need to be gotten rid of. Because if you can write a law discriminating for someone based upon their race, upon their gender, or anything else, and have that accepted, then you are writing laws to discriminate against someone else. Oh yeah, Sean, when they said that they were happy when Biden got in office because, oh my, the adults are back in charge. And there's a clip I saw this weekend, and I meant to save a link to it, and I didn't, of all these newscasters from CNN, all these political talking heads from MSNBC, NBC, CBS, reporters from the New York Times and other mass media outlets talk about how the adults were back in charge in DC when Biden took office. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me. Positive discrimination. Yeah, good point, Furry. I'm glad, discrimination is discrimination, be it for you or against you. It's discrimination. And we should be against all forms of discrimination as far as how we treat our own people. Now, if you want to write a law saying that only American citizens are allowed to sign contracts with the state government, then I can live with that. Because, we're dealing, that's not your race, that's not your gender. That is something you've chosen to do, is become an American citizen or stay an American citizen. If you want to write a law that illegals cannot get this benefit or that benefit, I've got no problem with that. Racism is racism. Sexism is sexism. You want to say somebody's no good because they're a man? It's like that nonsense Psaki threw at that male reporter. Well, you've never been pregnant. You don't have a say in this. It doesn't affect you directly. Now, what do you mean? Abortion can affect the male, the father of that child. Now, a life is a life. And be that life 16 weeks old inside the womb or 16 years old outside. And some of us happen to believe that life is precious. But that is how it is. I want to make this, I'd love to live in a country to where everybody was treated on an equal basis if you are as a citizen of that country. You weren't given special treatment because of your race. You weren't given favorable or unfavorable treatment based upon your race, your gender. that is what I want. That was what I thought was the basis of Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. That he wanted people, his children, treated upon their character. Oh no, what did I do? Okay. I wanted to blow this picture up. Now, sometimes you see something on Twitter that if you are been around old enough on the internet and in certain parts of the internet that you see it and you laugh because you know what the joke is. And this is one of them. I saw that and I laughed too hard, too long. And if you don't get that joke, well, ask around. Somebody surely will tell you about it and maybe direct you to some linked information. Morning, atheist. How are you doing today? Ideologues, yeah. Ideologues can ruin anything and everything. If you really want some fun, all right. The one thing I will have to say about being in this little niche of the internet is forced me to start looking at news sources to other countries. You don't get the joke? I'll tell you about it later. Okay. I was on the 15s. I worked on F-15s, A, B, C's, and D's. Well, atheist, it may be if he was at any of the bases and units that I was in, or I may have heard of them. We can discuss that offline later. Yeah, Sean, maybe he does. Yeah, if Dar wants in on the joke, I mean, who are we to deny him such revolutionary, or not revolutionary, what am I thinking? Revealing information. And Amazing Atheist, I mean, is he even still putting out content anymore? I haven't seen much from him in probably a year and a half. He used to be a hell of a content creator. Oh yeah, let's see. Uh yeah, that's the latest from Amazing Atheist. It's been a week. So yeah, he's still putting stuff out. 1 week ago, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. So yeah, he's still putting the content out, not like he used to. Man, you couldn't go anywhere. Oh, is he on Drunken Peasants strictly now for the most part? Yeah, that's another stream that used to be. I mean, if you got invited on the Drunken Peasants, uh, then you're in the in crowd. Yeah, that was the thing that your viewer count would explode if you got invited onto the Drunken Peasants there. The drunk, because I used to listen to the Drunken Peasants on occasion. I wasn't a huge fan of theirs. I'd listen to them on occasion just to see what kind of nonsense they were getting up to. But yeah. Oh, what the hell? What? Okay. Caitlin, there. Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner is being bashed because it said something about illegal immigration and used the term illegals. And the left is absolutely exploding over it. So, okay, same old, same old. I don't give a no. They're not going. Caitlyn Jenner's not going to be the new governor of Florida. If Newsom, my money is if Newsom is recalled, then probably be Larry Elder will get will be sitting in the governor's seat. But I'm given that's if, especially since, hey, Johnny, did you ever print off your ballot? Did you print your ballot off, or are you still waiting to have one mailed to you? Wow. That is just downright amazing. Well, there was actually a news article I saw this morning, or no, Styx was talking about it. I can't find the news article myself. I heard Styx talking about it. That almost at 5,000 illegal immigrant children who have been released to quote unquote family members. Well, DHS, this is just in the past couple of months. DHS has lost track of since Biden's become president. But yeah, that's 5,000 children. Are they working in sweatshops? Are they being sexually exploited? What what's going on with them. Remember, under Trump, under previous administration, it was children in cages, but that's not called children in cages anymore. They just don't know where the children are. They've been released into the wild. Maybe to a relative, maybe not. I'm hoping you're wrong, Raman. I'm hoping you're wrong that they haven't been released into child traffickers. They have been released into becoming sex slaves, you know, dirty old men paying $100 to sniff their hair. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm afraid it is, but I'm hoping it's not. Oh, that under the bridge thing, that in Texas, yeah, that's amazing that has been absolutely given a pass by the media. I'm amazed that's been given a pass. I shouldn't be. I know I shouldn't be amazed, but I am that AOC hasn't been out there raising hell about it. Because AOC, as much as I dislike her, I will give her this, is she's still quite vocal about her positions. Even when she's going to be bad-mouthing Biden and his administration about it. I will have to give her credit for that. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about what goes on. There's a lot to be said about. I don't know if AOC and the four witches of the Wicked Witches of the West there are ever going to become too mainstream or fully mainstream. I hope not. They are useful idiots when they're railing against Republicans, but they're getting ignored now that Biden by the media as much now that Biden is in office. AOC is greater than Brie Larson. Eee. That thought just it catches me. It catches me off guard. It does. I do not know where to go there from there, because you've totally caught me there. Okay, this past weekend, of course, this was Labor Day, and seeing all the liberals out there, from Karen Bass, Sherrod Brown, Biden and Harris, they got out there giving their Labor Day speeches, praising the unions. The thing is, we don't see they don't talk about the bad and the worst that the evils do. the unions have done as much destructive stuff sitting there. They've artificially increased the prices of labor and then of course, with the price of labor goes up, the price of the materials goes up, whatever product that company is making. Then when that price of labor their material goes up, that means the price to the consumer has gone up. Vicious circle here. Labor members are saying they need more money because the price of material of the stuff they need to buy has gone up. So the unions start protesting, wanting more money so their guys can afford to buy the stuff they're making. And then turns around, okay, so they get the money, they get a pay raise, the price of the material goes up, the price of the product goes up again. And then, of course, the union is saying, look at these evil companies' owners. They're making all this money hand over fist, and our people want their fair share. That is what the unions do. You can't even give them credit for the 8-hour or the 40-hour work week, the 8-hour day, because Henry Ford was doing that before the unions became a thing. Henry Ford paid his workers enough that they could afford to buy the cars that they were manufacturing. There is a balance there. To paying your employees enough money to where they can afford to buy the product that they're making. And Henry Ford was there to make that happen. And that was before the unions really became a thing. Now, did they do some good, say, in the coal country? There was a time period, yes. But Perky AA. Did I miss something? I see the word Perky and I'm like, huh? What the hell? Oh, the civil service should never, never have a union. Teachers, the police, airline controllers, none of these people should have a union. They should not be able to go on strike or threaten strikes to get a pay raise out of the public coffers. 99% of them they've outlived their useful purpose. Now they're mostly just there to keep incompetents employed, keep criminals employed, and to fatten their own wallets. We saw that, was it 2 years ago? Project Veritas acted as a teacher, went before a teachers union, different teachers unions, saying that, they hit a kid or, they're sleeping with one of their students, or they used some extremely foul language and they were afraid what was going to happen to them because they lost their temper or they let their libido get in the way. And the union officials are sitting there saying, clear violation of the law, clear violations of the rules. And the union people were sitting there saying, don't worry about it. We've got your back. We know how we can get this fixed. Did that person? And, they had every slimy way of protecting the criminal, and they laid it all out. They had one particularly egregious guy. He tried to sue Veritas over their reporting. I want to say it was over a case where the teacher had hit a kid. And he ended up dropping the lawsuit because the whole video came out, was released, and when the whole video was released, his lawyers told him he didn't have a leg to stand on. And he dropped the case. People say a lot of bad things about Project Veritas. And are they perfect? Is O'Keefe perfect man? Of course not. Have they made mistakes? Of course they have. I just find it amazing that I don't find it amazing. It's because it is what happens within, when anything gets involved, like what they do, showing the hypocrisy or whatever. They're expected to be perfect in all ways, shape, and or forms. And as soon as they do something that's the least bit a mistake of any kind, then everything that they've said or done is thrown out as being tarred, as being a fallacy. The way O'Keefe's conviction. Come on. Phone shut off. Thank you. Sorry about that. My phone I thought I had the ringer shut off on my phone. Evidently, I didn't. I'll give them a call back later. DHS here, we're going back to Afghanistan. DHS is sitting here saying that the United States, in taking in the refugees, is going to restore America's standing in the world. How can this be? We don't need to be resettling these refugees. We're bringing in people who don't like our culture, won't benefit from our culture, aren't used to our culture, and somehow or another, this is a great thing. They didn't, most of these people didn't ask to come here. They wanted, they wanted to get out of a war-torn country. They wanted to get out of the place where the Taliban was taking over. But that doesn't mean they wanted to come here. And we're forced relocating them. But anyway. Are we going to bring in another Dearborn, Michigan? Are we going to bring in enough people to change our country on a larger perspective than what's already been larger? Well, in a way that, we don't want it to be, we don't need it to be changed. We don't want it to be changed. Wait, I don't know. I don't know. Anybody got any ideas? Oh, really? Are they actually doing that? Furry. They're having to put up those barriers again? Oh no, I missed that. Ideas are evil. Hey, morning, Costin. Ideas in themselves aren't evil. New ideas aren't necessarily evil. I just don't know which idea. I know which ideas won't work here in the United States. Oh, I feel sorry for you there, Kitten. Curtin. Why'd I call you Curtin? If we look at what's going on in France and in England, that's what we're trying to do to ourselves here. Let's look at what's going on in Scandinavia. Let's look what's going on in Germany with all these refugees from these countries that aren't culturally part of us. And that's what's going to happen here. Your big idea is that these refugees are going to assimilate into our lifestyle. It doesn't happen. Yeah, you get, and then you get the ones like, that, like the mayor of London, okay, or the ones in our own Congress. They seemingly adapt and become involved in our legislative and political bodies, but in the long run, what they're doing is they're insinuating themselves in to make changes to change our government more to their own cultural liking. You don't see them adapting and embracing our life, our culture, our lifestyle. They sit there and try to revert ours to theirs. And that is, destruction from within. And their enemy forces brought within our own country. And we're accepting them in. This isn't a takeover by war, by guns and bullets. This is a takeover by changing our laws. Oh, I know, Furry. I watched the British version of Border Security, and what I saw happening there at the various ports, and your guys' security going to these. The trucks, the beds of the trucks looked, 18-wheelers. And they literally crawl up on top and start going down the cargo. And if there was a space between boxes, 2 foot by 2 foot, there'd be a head down there. And they'd pull out 5, 6, 7 people, 20 people, 30 people that had snuck inside the truck. And these aren't trucks like here in the States where they're hard-sided box trucks. These are, they're basically large canvases thrown over the bed of the truck. And here's all these illegals sitting there. And they're coming from France or through France, from the Middle Eastern countries and such. And the truckers are being fined for not securing their trucks well enough that these guys can't get in there. The companies are fined because the trucker didn't secure, if it can be shown that the truck wasn't secure enough to keep the people out. Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there amazed. It's like, well, how did these people get in there? And then to find out that just outside of this port, they've got camps, 8, 9, 1,000 people, 800, 900, 1,000 people sitting there trying to figure out how they're going to illegally cross into England. And it's like, what they crawl up underneath. One of them, the one I saw, this guy had crawled up and zip tied himself to above the axle, to the bed of the truck up underneath it, just above the axle. And it's like, how did he get in there? And how did he tie wrap himself up? Who helped him tie wrap himself up there to keep him from, and then, axles move. He hits a good bump and he's going to get crushed. These things, the danger that they put themselves in. And the British, they've got these sniffer boxes to detect carbon dioxide. And of course, when humans breathe out, we breathe out carbon dioxide. So they got these sniffers up there detecting the carbon dioxide. And, we got a high level here. There must be some people trying to sneak in, right? So what do these guys do? They put themselves in giant trash bags. They put themselves in a trash bag to capture the carbon dioxide. Well, I don't know if it's you English or we Americans who are the most racist people on the planet. Yeah, and you are a small country, landmass wise. And that's one thing, Costin, down there in Australia, are y'all bringing in as many refugees as what they're trying to bring in here? Because I know that just now signed waivers for your military guys to get back into the country without having to go through that 21-day quarantine, that they can quarantine in their own homes. I know your health department just signed the waiver on that. But, that was after it was brought up that they signed waivers for some footballers' wives to be able to quarantine at home instead of quarantine at the camps. Yeah, I caught that on Sky News. But that's one thing about opening up this channel has forced me to do is I watch more British news, more Canadian news, and more Australian news than what I used to watch. And it's not that I didn't watch it before. I did, but I didn't watch it like I do now to pull up some of the finer points of what's being said within the different governments and how the different governments are reacting to the same situations, the same issues that our own American government is doing. And I've the authoritarianism being shown down in Australia is astounding. Like I said, government enforced 21 day quarantine camps. You're coming back in from somewhere else. Well, you got to go in this quarantine camp for 21 days. And, oh, by the way, here's the bill for your 21-day internment. You got to pay that. It's like, say what? And then they were actually going to do that to the military guys coming back. Wow. France had a riot in one of their shopping malls. People protesting mandatory mask mandates. And there was so many people, the police had to back up and retreat. And I mean, the cops were showing up in riot gear. England, well, like Furry's saying, that's right. You are. Yeah, I'm sorry, Costin. I don't know why I thought Australia there for a minute. I apologize for that. But yeah, I mean, 25,000 refugees. Where are y'all going to put them, and how long are you going to keep them there? Are you going to make them Canadian citizens? Are they going to do to Canada what they've tried doing to certain areas in the United States? Why don't we learn from the mistakes each other are making? Why are we trying to see who can import the most refugees, bringing in people that are so culturally different from us? And then why? And then here's the major question. Here's the main question. Why aren't the people in that area, why aren't the countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, these other countries accepting these refugees? You would think that with them being fellow Muslims, that they would be doing everything they could to support that, to help them. But I don't see it doing it. It's not. You mean the past 2 decades, Kitten? I think it's the past 2 decades of this. Maybe even the past 3. This decade. Yeah. The 20s, the 2010s, and the 2020s. I think that 30 years is going to be called the Great Mistake. That era. Because the Western nations are importing people that want to bring part their great destruction. The Great Reset. Now, the Great Reset, I thought that was an economic thing. That they were trying to reset the economics, bringing in, to reset where the American dollar was no longer the world standard. The oil being bought now, I think they're, oh, I can't remember what, wasn't it one of the Chinese money issues that they were trying to, that's trying to be pushed into being the monetary unit of choice for oil instead of the American dollar? Good. Yeah, I think it was one of the Chinese bills. But yeah, this great reset, uh, Canada with the Trudeau announcing those passports, a nationwide passport here at the end of the year. Costin, wasn't that, the Petro one. But Costin, didn't Trudeau just announce that by the end of the year, there's going to be a Canadian national vaccine passport? That it was going to take them that long. That's why they were allowing the individual provinces to do what they could do as far as passports within their own province. And if we're going to, if that, and think about this, if a country, Canada, is going to go with a vaccine passport, they're not going to sink millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars of having a passport for you, not just you. It won't be for just internal use. It's going to be for external use. And you're not going to do that on an external use basis without involving other countries. So that means all these countries are going to be, the United States will get involved with it, Canada, France, England, and then, you get the G11. Let's just call it the G11 involved. Oh, $1 billion aside for the provinces to do it. Okay. Yeah, I thought I read that correctly. Read that while I was drinking my coffee this morning. And speaking of coffee, do I have any left? Yeah, I'm drinking Jack Daniel's coffee this morning. And no, it doesn't have whiskey in it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I spilled some coffee on my mouse and I yeeted myself when I moved my mouse. Oh, really, kitten? Okay. Somebody bit you and you couldn't get them tested for Hep or HIV? They bit you that hard? Holy shit. Oh man. What are they doing? But anyway, I am going to go ahead and start to wind this down here this morning. Oh, there. Remember, I'm going to go. I'm do a little time machine here. Well, I work with the public too, but damn it, I don't get involved with blood and fluids. I don't know. I do not. If somebody comes in bleeding, I hand them the first aid kit. If they got a scratch, I hand them the first aid kit. Let them do it themselves. I do not. No, it's not going to happen. In asking them, you could be brought up on criminal hate crime charges. Oh my God. That is the most ridiculous thing. All you're trying to do is protect yourself and your family's health. And what happened to this guy that bit you? Or guy or gal that bit you? Were they brought up on any kind of charges? I mean, that's battery in the. I mean, you got their teeth marks to prove it. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. If you're a first aider, then yeah, you're screwed. You've got no choice. That's your job. When I was doing security, that's one thing I did like about it, even when I was doing security at venues that had large masses of people. We did not deal with the mud and the blood and the beer. We'd put on the latex gloves and escort them out. And then, or, turn them over to the first aiders. And they actually have, I'm sure you've got the same type of companies there, but these venues are required to have on hand people licensed by the state to deal with the bodily fluids like blood and vomit and such. Security, all we did was keep other people away from them. Oh. And because you're security, you couldn't do civil charges against her. Gotcha. Yeah, because that was part of it. Morning, Rex. How you doing? Well, yeah, if you're sleeping, you were sleeping. Yeah, everybody's got to get some sleep. It's bad. Okay, what's the difference, Furry? What's the difference between badge security there versus? I mean, is that like one step below being a police officer, sworn officer, or what? I mean, like when I went through security training here, is every 2 years, 40-hour course on what you can and can't do. Very basic stuff. Very basic first aid, CPR, mouth to mouth, how to use the airway mask that protects you from getting vomit or stuff thrown back up on top of you. And that was about it. We weren't given, we weren't responsible for emergency first aid, setting of bones, applying bandages, tourniquets, or anything like that. that kind of training we did not get as part of our job. Now, if you already had the training and such, that was great, but that was not something that we were required to go through. But okay, I am going to have to call this. Just got a text message in from my boss, and he definitely needs to be from secure. You're very, very reliable for everything other than. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So, like to learn some more about that. That sounds like an interesting job with a lot of drawbacks to it. Now, are y'all hired by individual venues to come in for security? As you know, you work for a security company and you're brought in by venues, or do you work for the state? You work for the government. You're a government employee. Well, Sean, I'm going to try to have a good day. The boss he is going out of town for a month. He and his wife. And I'm dreading it. I am dreading this next month. Because half of the crew that I work with are 80% incompetent. And I hate working with incompetent people. So, but right now the employment situation is such that you have to take what you can get. And you don't want to fire someone because you don't know how long it's going to be before you get somebody else to come in. People are being paid too much money to stay home. But anyway, that's a thought for another day, another stream. Furry, someday I'd like to have you come on where we can hold a discussion about that. That sounds like something interesting. Okay. And give us an idea of what's going on with that. All right. But anyway, everyone, please. Everyone, please have a good day. I'll be back tomorrow morning, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Please be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. Enjoy what's going on in your lives as much as possible.